Hello, welcome. Bruce McLaughlin, McLaughlin Partners Real Estate on the Central Coast. Just thought I'd say a few words on where we're heading in 2019 and what's happening in the marketplace. But importantly, a few people have asked me just recently, since being elected to Central Coast Council as an independent councillor, am I still in the office as much? And to answer your question, clearly, as you can see, yes, I am still leading the team at McLaughlin Partners. Nothing has changed in that regard. Council's a part-time community role. I'm happy to put a few hours a week into the council chamber and hopefully bring some business thinking into the council debate. But more importantly, people are asking us wherever we go what's happening in the marketplace, and let me tell you that I don't believe everything you read in the media. It's certainly not as dead as you would read in the headlines. And to give you an idea, we've just posted the first $3 million sale for the 2261 postcode oceanfront property down at Blue Bay Beach. That property was put to market in December last year. 2.9 was the bid at auction. Wasn't high enough. We weren't happy with that arrangement. We advised the owners to continue in the marketplace, and with careful negotiations over the Christmas period, we've managed to move the pricing up into a figure both the owners and sellers were happy to move forward with. So that's an encouraging sale for the 2261 area moving into 2019. But done some other notable sales. A nice property in View Street, the entrance, that was 1.27. That was an off-market sale. That property was an existing client asked us to see if we could find someone to locate her property without. She didn't want to go through the fanfare of being on the open market. So we managed to find a buyer that was looking around that sort of criteria. If you are looking for something, certainly let our agents know what you're looking for. And we know a lot of people. The business has been around for 95 years now. And often we will know someone that has a property in your criteria and can often find something off market for you. So certainly let us know what you're looking for, and we'll keep an eye out. But the opposite to off market, we're doing more and more of is what I call remedial sales. And a remedial sale is where it's something that may be languishing in the marketplace, not having any luck in its current efforts. And let's be frank, it's almost 3 decades since the country's seen a proper recession, and some of the agents have never actually operated or worked or experienced current trading conditions, and owners are actually now effectively seeking our advice on what to do in the current climate. One of the most high profile remedial sales we did was a property in Carlton Road at Holgate, back onto the grammar school. Lovely English stock property, lovely gardens, pool area. That property was taken to auction end of last year. It had been on the market for 12 months. Debbie Montgomery, our rural agent, took that over, put the place to auction, and didn't sell it under the hammer, but within a week of the auction we were able to sign off with the buyer, and that's moved unconditionally. And those people are now getting on with their lives and moving forward after a frustrating 12 months in the marketplace. Another property we've been asked to refresh was a land subdivision at Cooranbong. We're not suburban agents. We're not tied to a territory. We're not in a franchise. We don't have to stick to certain suburbs. So we trade across the coast, and that's a rural residential subdivision in Cooranbong, Willowdale Estate. That property went to auction on the weekend. We sold one lot under the hammer and got some offers on some other lots there. So that owner's now moving forward in getting some momentum back into his sales in that particular development. But moving ahead in 2019, we're certainly not negative with the marketplace. I think the Central Coast will come out a bit better than a lot of markets nationally. You're seeing some headlines in the papers where some people are forecasting a 40% drop in prices, and that I don't think you'll see that on the Central Coast, where a few things going for us. Affordability. If you think the Central Coast is getting expensive, go down to Sydney and see what people are having to look at in pricing down there. We'll still see people moving out of Sydney that cannot afford the Sydney market, both for sales and for lettings, and we'll be attracted to the Central Coast with our affordability compared to the Sydney marketplace. Certainly, you've got new infrastructure coming aboard. You've got the North Connects tunnel. That'll reduce travel time, especially to the Western Sydney and the employment areas through there. And you'll see more people having a look at the Central Coast as a possible destination to commute. Unfortunately, we've got the highest commuting population in Australia. 40,000 commuters travel from the Central Coast each day, and we do need employment. And one of the highlights has been in recent times is the medical precinct in Gosford, and the work that the government's put into there is now underpinning some confidence in the Gosford market. We're starting to see some cranes in the air there, and that's helping supply coming on there. We're seeing a few developments there, but we haven't had anything like the developments of some of the inner city areas and out of Melbourne areas. They've had major supply, and that's the areas that you will see that they will struggle with both with tenancies, vacancies, and price pressure on some of those properties through there. To give you an idea, I read an article that Sydney now has enough vacant properties to house the city of Wagga. We haven't seen that development on the Central Coast. We didn't get that massive oversupply. To give you an idea, whilst in Sydney is struggling with their vacancies, on the Central Coast this week we had a property. Tenants can pre-register for our open houses. We can keep them informed if the property lets. Normally we get 10-15 tenants will pre-register, put their names down to come to an open house and pre-register. We had a property in Gilbert Street the other day. 197 tenants pre-registered for this property. 197 tenants put their name down to attend to an open house at a property in Long Jetty. The inevitable bidding war started. That property has now been leased at $25 a week more than what it was originally advertised for, and that's what happens when we see the investors leave the marketplace. The investors have already voted with their feet. We're not seeing that sort of investment in the last few months. The investors have decided that the market's not for them, and they've moved out. That's a natural cycle. And conversely, that allows the first-home buyers to come back into the marketplace. So in 2019, I've actually called it the year of the first-home buyer. It's the start of the new cycle, and whilst the investors are not active in the marketplace, it gives the opportunity for young ones to take up that space, and people are pre-registering for finance and getting their act together, and now looking at properties with a little bit more purchasing power than they could. In the last year or two, and that's a new cycle starting all over again. So all in all, I think the Central Coast will be shielded a little bit from what you're seeing in the media there. There's no doubt there will be some fallout. No one's an island. We're all in the same marketplace together. But I don't see the headline as a 40% drops on the Central Coast. We remain quite positive at that sort of level. So if we can help you in 2019, either buying, selling or leasing, give our office a ring, 43321155, or jump on the website, McLaughlin Partners Central Coast, and let us know what you're looking for, and we're happy to keep an eye out for you. Anyway, thanks for listening, and please ring us if we can help you. Thank you. Bye.